They discovered a warship from a Tier 15 hell planet. But humans claimed at first the ship verdict drifted slowly through the dark. Around it, the void stretched cold and silent. The crew had followed a faint signal so old it barely registered. It came from a derelict station orbiting a rogue planet without a sun. No one lived this far out. No one should. Commander Vex stood at the viewing deck, his clawed hands tight behind his back, his eyes for narrow slits glowing blue watched. The distant object. It turned slowly in the black, like a ghost. The station looked dead. Power levels were almost nothing. No comms, no beacons. No signs of life. But the signal had repeated again, a broken loop of static and something else. Something like a voice. Vec tapped the glass once with a claw. Sensor team. Confirm it again. Is that language? Officer Nala, a slender aquatic species with gill fins and silver skin, adjusted the translation matrix. It's repeating one word, she said. It's every loop, right before the static hits. Vec turned, and she looked up, uncertain. Help. The bridge fell silent. Origin species? He asked. Unmatched. Not Union dialect, but constructed, intelligent. Play the original, he said. The sound that followed was rough, garbled. But even through the noise, that word came through clearly. Help. The crew exchanged nervous glances. Out here, in the dark, things were rarely this simple. Distress call from nowhere meant danger, maybe a trap. Still, Beck had seen enough war to know when something was real. And this sounded real. He leaned forward. Bring us within 300 units. Keep weapons offline. I want to see it up close. The verdict moved silently toward the station, its sleek black hull cutting through the dark. Lights along its sides flickered like stars. As they neared, the shape of the station became clear around core, two long wings spinning gently like a dying leaf, burn marks across the metal, scars from explosions. Too damaged for a functioning ship. Scan again. Ek ordered Officer Liern, a winged species from the high-grav world of Kizari. Blinked his wide eyes at the screen. No life. Signs. But, Commander, I'm getting movement. Vec raised an eye ridge. Explain. Liern tilted the screen. Sector 4. Something just shifted. Mass. Approximately 90 kilos. Could be mechanical or biological. Vec narrowed his eyes. I want visuals. A small probe launched from the ship and zipped toward the station, flew through a shattered docking bay and into the corridor beyond. Cameras activated. The feed came through. Dark hallways, broken walls, exposed wires. A light flickered in the distance. No movement. The crew watched. The probe turned down a corridor. Something flashed across the screen only for a moment. Too fast. Pause. Rewind. Frame by frame. The screen advanced slowly. Frame 46 clear. Frame 47 blur. Frame 48 there. A shape. Humanoid. Upright. Just a shadow, but standing in the corridor. Magnify. The image sharpened to 2 arms. 2 legs. Helmet. Suit design unfamiliar. Figure faced the probe. Then, without warning, it moved fast. Tanned the feed cut to static. Probe offline, Liern said. Vec didn't speak for a moment. Run it again, they watched. Again and again, that same shape. That same moment of contact. And every time something about that stance, calm, like it was waiting. This cannot be a coincidence, said Nala. It's alive. It's watching. Vec nodded slowly, and it's human. The crew fell quiet. Humans were a myth. A rumor whispered among scouts and old captains. Some said. They came from a death world so violent it should have wiped itself clean. Others claimed Earth never existed at all. But now, confirm species match, Vec ordered. Officer Liern tapped a few commands. The screen filled with lines of data. Biology matches. Early archive. Records. Oxygen breathing. Bipedal. Heater assistant. Gravity tolerant up to 11 standard units, possibly more. Infernal, Vec muttered. They shouldn't be alive here. Officer Nala spoke again. Commander, this station has been dark for at least 40 cycles. If there are humans inside, they've been surviving for decades, alone. No food, no support, no rescue. Vec stepped back. Then we're not just looking at survivors. We're looking at something worse. He turned toward the comms officer. Wake the High Union. They need to hear this. But Commander Nala said quietly, what if they're not the only ones in there? Vec looked at the screen again, at the shadow. Then we pray they're still the most dangerous thing inside. The station loomed closer, and in the dark, something was watching. Asterisk, the boarding party prepared in silence. Commander Vec selected. Only 3, himself, Officer Nala, and Lieutenant Dresk, the strongest soldier on the verdict. Dresk's forearms were covered in armored plating. He didn't talk much, but when he did, it usually meant something bad was about to happen. They suited up. Reinforced helmets, personal gravity stabilizers, pulse weapons set to stun just in case. The shuttle detached from the verdict and glided toward the dark station. No lights came from the outside. The only glow was from the rogue planet below, red and cold. Final check, Vec said over the comms. Systems green, Nala said. Her voice was calm, but her hands trembled slightly. Ready, Dress grumbled. His tone didn't change. The shuttle docked with the ruined airlock. It hissed as it connected, sealing with a heavy clang. They waited. No alarms, no movement. The outer door opened. The corridor beyond was black and dead. Loose wires hung from the ceiling like vines. Pipes groaned softly in the cold. They stepped inside. Their boots crunched over broken glass. A long hallway stretched ahead, half collapsed in places. The walls were scorched, as if something had exploded nearby. Stay sharp, Vec said. No unnecessary lights. Follow the beacon markers. Their suits projected faint glows just enough to see a few feet ahead. The silence was complete. Even their breathing felt too loud. They moved slowly, passing what used to be living quarters. Most of the doors were sealed, but one had been torn open from the inside. Vec paused. Inside, scorched bunk beds, metal, twisted like paper, blood smears along the walls. Not fresh. Analysis. He asked. Nala scanned the area. Biological samples, not human. Something else. Something with claws. Vec's eyes narrowed. Are we too late? Unknown. They moved on. After 20 more meters, they reached a wider space. Once a common area. A table floated gently in the zero-G. Chairs were overturned. And across the far wall, message. Written in some kind of black paint, maybe burned into the metal. We're still here. Nala stared at it. That wasn't in the probe feed. Dresk turned slowly, aiming his weapon at the corners of the room. Means someone's watching us now, he said. Suddenly a noise echoed down the hall. A soft clank. Metal on metal. Op raised his hand. The team froze. Another sound. Closer this time. Then a voice, scratchy through the comms. Turn off your weapons and stop pointing them. You're making me nervous. They turned. From the shadows, a figure stepped out. Humanoid. Fully suited. Chest armor was dented. Helmet visor scratched. A long rifle slung over one shoulder. On the suit's chest, faded letters, Award DRC. The human raised both hands slowly. Not shoot each other. Yeah. Vec stepped forward, still cautious. You are human. The figure nodded. Name's Ward. Alex Ward. Deep Research Corps. Earth Sector. Station technician and part-time miracle worker. Nala blinked. Earth. That's a real place? It was last time I checked, Ward said. Although I haven't checked in 41 years. Vec looked him over. The suit was patched, old, but still functional. His movements were steady, his voice strangely calm. How are you alive? Vec asked. Ward's laugh was dry. Same way. Anyone survives a death world. You adapt or you die, Beck asked. Are you alone? Ward tilted his helmet. Not exactly. He motioned for them to follow. With no other option, they did. Down a service ladder, across another broken corridor, and into a sealed chamber. Ward entered a code. The heavy door slid open with a groan. Inside were 5 cryopods, lights blinking green.
One was open his.
These are the rest of my team. 3 still alive. 2 didn't make it. Vex stepped closer. Why were you here? This station is nowhere near Union territory. This wasn't Union space when we built it, Ward said. Back then. This sector was just empty sky. Then they came. Who? Ward looked at him through the scratched visor. We called them Wraiths. Not a real name. Just what they looked like. Black armor. No heat signature. No heartbeat. Took out our long range. Comes first. Then the life support. We held them off as long as we could, Nala whispered. But no one knew. No distress signal made it through. Ward nodded. Yeah, until now. Why now? Ward turned to them. Hibernation. Pods failed. Woke me up early. And now, I've got power to send out one last signal. Vex's voice was quiet. That was your message? Ward's tone hardened. Yeah, and if you're smart, you'll get off this station fast, because they always come back to check their kills. Just then, the power flickered. Low hum echoed. Through the walls, Ward's eyes narrowed behind the visor. They're here. Warning lights flashed red across the ceiling. The humming grew louder, like engines warming up deep underground. The air felt thicker, heavier, even through the suits. Beck turned to Ward. How many are there? Ward checked a panel on the wall. The screen flickered, showing static, then shapes, blurry and moving fast. At least 3, maybe 5. They don't show up well on sensors, but they hit hard, and they don't stop. Officer Nala's voice cracked slightly. Are they? Still don't know, Ward said. We never caught one alive. No DNA, no heat, no coms. It's like fighting shadows with knives. Beck stepped away from the cryopods. If you have wounded, we need to evacuate them now. They're stable in the pods, Ward replied. If we move them, we risk killing them. If the station loses power, they'll die anyway. Lieutenant Dresk checked his weapon. Then we defend. Ward gave a short nod. That's the spirit. They rushed out of the chamber. Ward led them down a maintenance tunnel, tight and lined with old pipes. This way. Gets us to the central reactor. We can reroute power, lock the blast doors, and if we're lucky, fire the old defense grid. Do the weapons still work? Beck asked. Some, Ward said, enough to make them bleed. A little. They reached a heavy hatch. Ward spun the wheel and shoved it open. Inside was the control room, dusty, but full of glowing panels. Ward stepped inside and went straight to a console. Cover me. This takes a minute. Dresk posted up near the entrance, weapon ready. Scanned for movement. Vec watched the human work. His fingers flew over the old interface, as if he never left. Dust puffed up from every key. Lights flickered as systems came on. Lines, some groaning, some clicking. Ward muttered, Come on, you rusty beast. The screens blinked green. Low rumble vibrated under their boots. Got it, he shouted. Reactor stable. External shields charging. Defense turrets online in 3 zones. Dress growled. 3 zones out of how many? 16, Ward said. A shriek cut through the hall. Not mechanical. Not human. It echoed, high and sharp, like metal screaming. Nala spun. They're close. Then movement. A black shape darted past the doorway, fast as lightning. Dresk opened fire. Bright blue bolts lit the corridor. They hit nothing. Ward didn't flinch. Get to the security room. I'll keep rerouting systems from here. Vec grabbed his arm. You're coming with us. Ward pulled free. No. Time. I know this place. You don't. Trust myth. I don't finish this. We're all dead. Vec hesitated, then nodded once. Come back alive. Ward gave a crooked smile. That's the plan. Vec, Nala, and Dresk moved out. Behind them, Ward vanished into the flickering lights of the reactor room. They reached the security hub to levels up. The place was barely standing. The ceiling had collapsed in one corner, and parts of the wall had been melted. Nala activated the scanners. Multiple life forms closing in. No readable biosigns. Dresk checked his ammo. They're fast. The hallway outside went silent. Then crack. A panel above burst open. One of the creatures dropped from the ceiling. It was huge, twice their size. Black armor shimmered like oil. No face. Just a smooth mask and long clawed limbs. Dresk fired. The creature moved like smoke, dodging. One claw slammed into his shoulder, throwing him into the wall. Nala screamed and fired her sidearm. The blast hit the thing's leg. It screeched and leapt back into the shadows. Vec dragged Dresk to cover. His armor was cracked, but he was breathing. Then the cums crackled. "Status," Ward's voice. Vec replied. "They've breached the inner level. One injured. Minimal damage to the enemy." Ward said, "I'm nearly done. Give me 5 minutes. Make it 2. The lights dimmed. Another shriek echoed. Nala whispered, "They're hunting us." Then her screen lit up. "Commander?" "Something's coming from behind. Not them. Something else." They turned to the hall and saw a second figure running toward them. It was a human, but this one wore heavier armor. It's a different nameplate. Our Marcus, combat engineer. He skidded to a stop, holding a large weapon in one hand. "I heard the party started early," he said. Nala blinked. "How?" Ward said. "The others." Marcus grinned. "He woke me up early, said he'd need cover fire. You ready to clean house?" Without waiting, he raised the weapon and fired. A loud boom shook the corridor as the round hit one of the creatures crawling toward them. Screamed this time. In real pain, Marcus turned. "They bleed. You just have to hit him harder." Vec stared at the new human, stunned. "How many more of you are there?" Marcus chambered another round. "Enough." Marcus moved fast, like he knew the station. Better than anyone. He ducked low, eyes scanning every corner, weapon raised. The thing he shot was still twitching on the ground. Black ooze dripped from its side, steaming where it touched the metal floor. "Is it dead?" Nala asked. Marcus stepped closer and fired again. The thing jerked once, then went still. "Now it is," he said. Dresk pushed himself up with a groan. "Armor's cracked. I won't hold up in another hit." "You won't need to," Marcus said. "We're finishing this." "Ward's activating the failsafe?" "Failsafe?" Vec asked. Marcus didn't answer right away. He bent down, pulled a strange device from his pack and tossed it to Vec. "Pulse bomb," he explained. "Short-range, EMP-based, disables tech. Shuts down the station's systems, including this thing's cloaking. But there's a catch." "What kind?" Vec asked. Marcus looked him dead in the eyes. "It also cuts power to the cryopods, including mine. If we're going to use it, we'd better be ready to get out fast." Vec nodded. "How long do we have?" Minutes after detonation? Not long?"
Not long.
Marcus agreed.
Not.
But long enough. The cums came to life again. "System reroute complete," Ward said. "Defense turrets active in sectors 5 through 7. "I've bought us some time," Vec replied. "We're arming a pulse bomb." There was a pause. "Copy that, Ward," said. "Get ready. They're swarming from the lower decks. I'll try to slow them down." Then the cums cut. Marcus pointed down the hallway. "We need to reach the old cargo lift. It'll take us straight to the shuttle dock." "What about Ward?" Nala asked. "He knows the plan," Marcus said. "He'll meet us or not." They moved. Fast lights flickered overhead. Distant thuds echoed, something pounding on the station walls or running through the vents. Maybe both. They passed rooms full of wreckage, empty labs, crushed walls. A shattered window into space, sealed with an old emergency barrier that groaned with every step they took. "This place is falling apart," Nala said. "Has been for years," Marcus replied. "We just stayed ahead of the collapse." They reached the lift. It was a large circular platform, old and rusted, but still operational. Marcus slammed a hand on the controls. Come on," It hummed to life and began to rise. Just as they started moving, a loud screech rang out from above. Then something dropped onto the platform with a crash. Another wraith. Dresk moved first, tackling it without a word. The platform shook under their weight. The creature slashed at him with sharp claws, sparks flying as they scraped against armor. Nala fired, her shots bouncing off the creature's black hide. "It's not working," she yelled. Marcus stepped in and fired point blank. The blast knocked the wraith off balance. Dresk pushed it over the edge. It disappeared into the darkness below. Dresk staggered back, panting. "I can still fight." Vec looked at him. Not for much longer. The lift reached the top. A long corridor led to the shuttle dock. Marcus held up the pulse bomb. "Once we're close enough, I'll arm this and toss it back down the corridor. It'll wipe out their stealth. You'll see them all." "And we shoot?" Nala asked. "We run," Marcus said. "Shooting slows you down." They ran. Behind them, shadows moved. Claws scraped. Whispers rose in the air, strange hissing voices. That sent chills down Vec's spine. Halfway to the dock, Marcus threw the pulse bomb. It rolled, then stopped. A sharp hum built up, then dash boom. A wave of blue light shot down the corridor. Suddenly, the shadows became clear. Dozens of them, tall, black-armored wraiths, frozen for a split second in the light. Then they moved. Fast. "Go," Marcus shouted. The team sprinted toward the dock. The shuttle was waiting, powered and ready. Its ramp was down. They leaped inside. Nala hit the door controls. The ramp began to rise. But the wraiths were faster. One jumped for the edge. Dresk turned, grabbed it midair, and hurled it back down the corridor. Then he fell to one knee, gasping. Vec pulled him inside as the doors slammed shut. The ship lifted off, engines flaring. "Where's Ward?" Nala shouted. The coms crackled. "I'm all ready." "Ahead of you," Ward's voice came. "I took the service tube. I'll meet you in orbit." "Of course you did," Marcus muttered, strapping in show off. The shuttle shot into space, leaving the dark station behind. On the verdict, sensors showed a sudden drop in power on the station. Then silence. Vec slumped in his seat, breathing heavily. "So," he said. "That's humanity." Marcus grinned. "That's just two of us." The shuttle docked with the verdict, and the crew rushed out, carrying Dresk between them. Medical bots arrived within seconds, lifting him gently onto a stretcher. He was still breathing, but barely. His armor was cracked, and his skin had darkened. From bruising, Nala stayed close to him as the bots wheeled him away. Commander Vec stepped into the main bridge, followed by Marcus. Everyone on board froze when they saw the human. Eyes widened, tentacles twitched. Some crew backed up without realizing it. Marcus looked around. "Nice place. Smells like disinfectant and metal fear." "Stand down," Vec ordered his crew. "He saved our lives." Marcus raised a hand, almost a wave. "Aye." The silence was awkward. Vec cleared his throat. "Where's Ward?" A voice came through the bridge speakers. "Right behind you." "Right." Lift doors opened, and Ward walked in. He looked tired, armor scratched, and boots covered in black ooze, but he was smiling. "Docked on your maintenance rail?" Ward said. "Figured I'd drop by." The bridge crew stared. "You were on that." "Station," said Officer Learn, "for decades. And you're alive." "Not just alive," Ward said. "We upgraded the place." Vec turned toward the central display. "I want every detail. Who you are, why you were out there, and why those creatures were after you." Ward sighed and leaned against a panel. "All right, story time." He explained everything in simple words. Earth's Long-Range Research Division had sent teams deep into unmapped space decades ago. Their goal: explore dangerous regions the Union avoided. Places with black holes, unstable stars, gravity storms. Places no one sane would go. "We were the test run," Ward said. "Station 7. Built tough. Buried in orbit around a dead planet with the best minds Earth had to offer. Marcus chimed in, and one engineer with too much free time. Ward smiled. Things went well for the first few years. Then, the Wraiths showed up. He pulled up a small hologram from his wrist device. It showed one of the black creatures taller than a human, armored, fast. They're not just hunters, they're scavengers. They feed off tech, energy, thought. We think they're half machine, half something else. The room was silent. Vec asked, "Why didn't you call for help?" "We tried," Ward said, "but they jammed our comms. Every time we got a signal out, they'd strike again. Eventually we shut everything down and went dark. Cryopods were the only choice." "Why didn't they finish you?" "No idea," Ward said. "Maybe they thought we were dead. Maybe they just got bored." Vec paced slowly, and now they know we're not. Marcus crossed his arms, which means the Union has a problem. The commander turned. "You believe they'll attack again?" "Know it," Marcus said. "That station's just one target. There's probably more. Wherever energy flows, they follow." "We can't defend every sector," Nala said, returning to the bridge. Her eyes were tired. Dresk's in recovery. "He lost a lot of blood." Ward looked at her. "He's tough. He'll make it." Vex stepped to the main display and called for a full Union scan. "I'm sending this data to High Command. They'll want details. Every file, every scan, every recording you've got." Ward nodded. "Done." The files uploaded into the Verdict's system. Screens filled with schematics, video logs, combat footage, and scans of the Wraiths. All of it human recorded. All of it terrifying. Officer Liren stared at the data. This could change everything. Ward looked around the room. "Yeah, that's kind of what we do," Vec asked. "What else can your people do?" Marcus grinned. "Well, we build reactors that fit in backpacks."
We eat food that burns.
"Through your digestive lining. Oh, and we once dropped a base onto a comet just to see what would happen." Nala blinked.
What happened?
"Mostly fire," Marcus said. Ward stepped forward. "Listen, Earth doesn't want war. Not helpless. We've been surviving worse for longer. If the Union wants help, we're offering it." Vec didn't answer right away. He looked at the screen, at the Wraiths, at the shaky footage of humans running into danger while others ran from it. Then, he turned back to Ward. "I don't think we need to fear you," he said. Ward smiled. "But now you understand why others might." Vec nodded slowly. "Prepare for contact with Union High Command. They'll want to meet you." Marcus stretched. "Great. Hope they like coffee. I haven't had a real one in 40 years. Ward looked out the viewing window toward the stars. "Let's just hope we're not too late." Asterisk, 3 days later, the Verdict hovered in orbit above a Union command station.
Ow.
The station was massive, shaped like a silver ring spinning slowly, with hundreds of lights blinking across its surface. Dozens of ships docked around it. Patrols flew in formation, scanning every visitor carefully. Inside the Verdict, Commander Vec stood with Ward and Marcus in the main briefing room. Both humans had cleaned up mostly, their suits were repaired, but still worn from years of battle. Their posture was relaxed, but their eyes never stopped scanning the room. Every sound, every flicker on a screen, they noticed it. Nala entered with a datapad. "Union Council is ready. You'll speak to them from the secure channel in 10 minutes. They've reviewed all the files. There are questions." Smirked. "There always are." Vec looked at Ward. "Be careful. They're cautious. They don't like surprises." Ward nodded. "Neither do I." When the transmission began, a dozen Union leaders appeared on the screen. Different species, different forms, some glowing, some armored, one floating in a nutrient tank. All of them watching closely. "Commander Vec," said one with a low melodic voice. "We have read your report. It is troubling." "The facts are verified," Vec said. "The humans survived alone, fought a threat we've never seen, and returned with data that could save lives." Another council member, shaped like a tall, crystalline spiral, leaned forward. "And why should we trust them?" Ward stepped up. "Because we didn't come here for war. If we had, you'd already know." Murmurs passed between the council. "Members," another asked, "you claim your people have faced these wraiths before?" Ward nodded. Not just us. Others. Outposts. Ships. We've seen their pattern. They strike hard and vanish. No communication, no demands. They consume energy and leave wreckage. Then why haven't we seen them? A deep voice asked. You have, Marcus said. No, you just didn't know what you were looking at. Missing stations, dead sectors, ships that blinked out with no warning. Sound familiar? The silence on the call was answer enough. Ward leaned forward. We didn't come to scare you. We came because we know what's coming, and we don't want to face it alone, Beck added. The humans offer skills the Union lacks. Their resilience, their adaptability. They survive what we can't. One council member said, their biology is unstable, violent. Marcus shrugged. So's the sun, if you get too close. But it's still useful. Ward said nothing. He just looked straight at the screen, calm and patient. Finally, the lead voice spoke. We will consider a trial alliance. Human specialists may assist with deep space patrols and respond to emergencies. Full membership will require further evaluation. Marcus whispered to Ward. We just got invited to the Galactic Sandbox. Ward smiled. Better than being left outside. The call ended. Vec looked at them both, impressed them. Marcus stretched. Not bad for two guys covered in space dust and old scars. Later that night, Ward stood at the viewport of the verdict. Earth was visible now, a small blue dot in the far distance. Nala joined him. Do you miss it? She asked. Ward nodded. Slowly. Every day. Why did you go so far away from it? He thought for a moment. Because out here, someone has to go first. Someone has to see the danger before it reaches home. Nala was quiet. Then she asked, what if the wraiths come again, in greater numbers? They will, he said. Can we win? Ward turned to her. Not by ourselves. But if the Union, humans, all of us work together, maybe we don't have to lose. Behind them, Marcus came in, holding 2 cups. Found something close to coffee, he said. Still tastes like machine oil, though. What? And made a face. It's terrible. Yup, Marcus said cheerfully. Feels like home already. No. The 3 stood together, watching the stars. And far away, in the black, something moved. Unseen. Silent. Waiting. The next morning, alarms echoed through the verdict. Lights flashed yellow across the corridors, and the ship shuddered as emergency protocols kicked in. Commander Vex stormed onto the bridge. Report. Officer Learn's eyes darted across. The sensor screen. We've got a burst signal from a Union outpost near Sector 14. It's gone dark. Gone dark? Vec asked. No response. No life signs. No escape pods. Just gone. A chill passed through the room. Marcus stepped. In, fully suited and already armed. That's them. The wraiths. Ward followed, holding a data tablet filled with flickering scans. We've seen this before. Signal cut. Total blackout. No survivors. Vec narrowed his eyes. We need to move now. The verdict changed course, speeding through space toward the last known position of Outpost Triner. The closer they got, the worse the readings became. Energy signatures were scrambled, atmosphere ripped away, hull fragments floating like dust. The outpost had been torn apart. They arrived too late. No survivors, no black boxes, no beacons, just a dead field. Nala whispered they left nothing. Ward tapped into the long-range sensors. There's a trail, ion residue. They're still moving. Which direction? Got the cost. Ward turned, eyes cold. Earth. Silence filled the bridge. Marcus didn't speak for once, just tightened his grip on his weapon. Vex straightened. We notify Union Command. Full alert. This isn't a test. This is real. They sent the warning. Ships were mobilized. Trolls pulled back toward core space. But deep down, everyone knew the truth. They weren't ready. Hours passed. Then a message came. From Earth, it was short. Hostile vessels detected on long-range scan 12. Incoming. The verdict accelerated. Earth was still a few hours away at top speed. Not enough time. It's not for a fleet that moved through shadows. Ward stood by the viewport, eyes on the screen. They'll hit orbital defenses first. Oh, that won't stop them. Nala asked, "What will?" He didn't answer. When Earth finally came into view, it was already under siege. Black ships shaped like razors cut through the atmosphere. Defense satellites fired plasma beams and railguns. Some hit, most missed. The wraiths moved too fast. Smoke trails marked where city shields held. Others where they failed. The verdict joined the fight. Turrets locked on targets. Cannons fired. Explosions rippled in orbit. But the wraiths kept coming. Then from Earth's surface, another signal rose. A fleet. Human-built ships, bulky, mismatched. Leaf-armored launched from deep bunkers across the planet. Fighters, interceptors, old war cruisers from past conflicts. Every piece of metal Earth had left. They charged into the sky, weapons firing in all directions. Ward grinned. "Now we're talking." Vec watched, amazed. "Your ships are outdated," Marcus laughed. "So are we." One by one, the human ships slammed into the enemy. No fancy maneuvers. Just raw power and stubborn grit. Several exploded. But they took wraiths with them. A huge black vessel pierced through the clouds, heading straight for a Union station in low orbit. Ward turned to Vec. "That station controls Earth's weather shields. If they take it, the planet's wide open." Vec didn't hesitate. "Get us there." The verdict spun and dove, engines roaring. They reached the station just as the enemy ship opened fire. Lasers scorched the outer ring. Explosions lit up the sky. Ward and Marcus suited up. Vec stopped them. "This is a Union station. It's not your duty." Ward looked him in the eye. "It's Earth." They boarded a shuttle and launched straight for the station, dodging debris and laser fire. Inside the control center, half the systems were down. Sparks flew. Fires burned in the corners. Union officers scrambled to hold their position. Ward shouted, "Get the override codes. We need to reroute shield power." Marcus leapt into a control pit, pulled up the manual systems, and forced the reactors back online. "Shield grid back at 40%, someone yelled. Then the lights surged. The shields came back flickering, but enough. The enemy ship turned too late. The verdict fired its main cannon. One shot. The wraith ship cracked, split open, and exploded in a flash of white and black. Silence. The battlefield calmed. Survivors cheered. Across Earth's sky, the remaining wraiths vanished, slipping into hyperspace, like ghosts. It was over. For now. Back aboard the verdict, Commander Vec stood at the main display. Earth still burned in some places. But it stood. He turned to Ward and Marcus, both exhausted but alive. "You saved a world," Vec said. "No," Ward replied. "We reminded it how to fight," Marcus added, "and that sometimes the worst planets make the best people." Vec smiled just a little. "I'll report to the Union Council. Officially, humanity is no longer unknown." Ward raised a brow. "What are we now?" Vec looked at them both. "A force to be respected."
Wow.
Later, as stars filled the screen again, Ward sat quietly near the viewport. Nala sat beside him. "What happens now?" she asked. He looked out at the stars. "Now," he said. "Now the galaxy knows Earth fights back." She nodded. Somewhere far beyond the edge of known space, the wraiths waited. But this time, they wouldn't be facing the galaxy alone. They'd be facing humans. And humans never stopped.